Hello everyone. Last class we discussed about the row and column operation and how to apply on it. So there are three rules to remember that we cannot do however we wish to apply the row or column operation. There are three ways to do. Three for row and three for column. Total six. That's why it is mentioned here. There are six operations or transformations on matrix. Three of which are due to rows and three due to columns, which known as the elementary operations or transformations. The first one is sorry, rows and columns are interchanging. Means any two rows can be interchanged. This is the symbol for any two rows will be interchanged. And the next one is any two columns can be interchanged. You cannot interchange a row and column. Okay, you can interchange only two rows between the rows or between the columns. You cannot do the transformation between a row and a column. That is not possible. Okay, then the whole equation will change, the whole question change. The second thing is multiplication of the elements of any row or column by a non-zero number. That means C1 is multiplying with 7 by 2. So the new matrix will get a column, the multiple of 7 by 2 of the first given matrix. That's we already seen in the example. That means any column or row can be multiplied with any non-zero constant. So here they mentioned any non-zero number. That means you cannot multiply any row or column with a zero, a number 0. You cannot do the multiplication. That means here you cannot write C1 tends to 0 times C1. So that is not possible. The entire row or column cannot be multiplied with a 0. That row operation you cannot apply. And the third one is like this one, C1 tends to C1 plus 2 times of C2, or C3 tends to 3 times of C2 minus 4 times of C1, or something like that. The addition of the elements of any row or column, the corresponding elements of any other row or column multiplied by any non-zero number written as, that is the example is given there to explain how this works. So only this type of operations you can use for the row operations or column operations. Now what you can't do is you cannot multiply any row or column with zero number. Multiplication with zero is not possible. Second one, dividing the column with any other column or row with any other row. Division of the rows. This type of operation is also not possible. C1 tends to C1 upon C2. You cannot divide a column with another column. But you can divide with any constant number. That can be possible, or multiply with any constant number. So that constant number can be a fraction, can be an integer. Okay, whatever the requirement you read. So these are the things you cannot do in the row or column operations. So I hope you understood the concepts of row and column operation. Now we move to the next topic, that is inverse of a matrix using elementary row or column operations. So before you go to this process, let me introduce what is the inverse of the matrix. So inverse of the matrix, if A is a square matrix of order M, square matrix they said, so it has to be M rows and M columns. If there exists another square matrix B, so you need to define the inverse of a matrix, you need two matrices A and B, and the order of the matrix B is also M. Both the matrix A and B must have the same order, and it has to be, both the matrices has to be a square matrix, such that the multiplication of A and B, that means if you multiply the matrix A and B or B into A, both the ways you have to multiply. Either A into B must be equals to B into A must be equals to I. Here I is of identity matrix. I represents identity matrix. The multiplication of A and B will always give you an identity matrix, or multiplication of B and A will always give you an identity matrix. Then B is called the inverse of A. Okay, B matrix is the inverse of A, or vice versa. A is the inverse matrix of B. Both the ways you can. So the inverse of the matrix I denoted with A to the power minus 1 or dash. It is called the symbol of A inverse. In that case, A is also said to be invertible. As I said, B is the inverse of A or A is the inverse of B. Now here A is the order of the matrix A is M, the order of matrix B is M. Hence, the order of identity matrix also M, and I is also a square matrix. To explain this, we have taken the two examples. I have taken 2 by 2, so we can work with the 3 by 3 also. A has 2, 3, 1, 2, and B has 2, minus 3, minus 1, 2. So be the two matrices. So now what I do is I multiply A and B matrix. I think you already knew how to multiply the two matrices. 2 2 is 4, 3 into minus 1 is minus 3. So 4 minus 3, 2 into minus 3 is minus 6, 3 into 2 is 6. So minus 6 plus 6. Then second row will multiply with the first column of the second matrix, 1 into 2, then 2 into minus 1. So that is 2 minus 2. Then second row of A multiply with the second column of B, 1 into minus 3 plus 2 into 2. So minus 3 plus 4. 4 minus 3 is 1, minus 6 plus 6 is 0, 2 minus 2 is 0, minus 3 plus 4 is 1. So this is called identity matrix I. Now you can try by multiplying with B with A. Even you multiply with B with A, then also you will get the answer as identity matrix. So hence, the word B is the inverse of A, we will write it as B equals to A inverse, and A is the inverse of B, that is A equals to B inverse. Okay. So this is the definition of the invertible matrices. If there are two matrices A and B of same order, then the multiplication of both the matrices will always give me an identity matrix. Then I can say A is the inverse of B or B is the inverse of A. So there are two properties for the inverse of the matrices. A and B are invertible matrices of the same order, then AB whole inverse. First of all, A is the invertible matrix, B is also invertible matrix. Here need not be A is the inverse of B or B is the inverse of A. That need not be. A has some inverse matrix different and B has some different as the inverse matrix. Then also this property holds. AB whole inverse, that is first you multiply A and B matrix. Okay. Then find its inverse. Will be same as first find the B inverse, then find A inverse, then you multiply both. So both the answers will remain same. So this is the property. Next, as we discussed in the definition of the matrices itself, says A is a square matrix. Then B is also a square matrix of same order. So why we specify square matrices? Rectangular matrices has no inverse. Okay, for time being we cannot find the inverse of the rectangular matrices. So this is the video which explains the properties of a inverse elementary row operations, what are the operations you can apply and what are the operations you cannot apply. Then the introduction of the invertible matrices, what is inverse of the matrix. Now there are two ways to find the inverse of the matrix. One is using the elementary row operations or column operations, that is first method. Second method is using the determinant and adjoint of a matrix. So these two methods we'll discuss later on. Before that, we need few more definitions or formulas to find the inverse of the matrix. So both the methods we'll discuss at the end of this chapter, how to find inverse. So next class we are going to discuss what is determinant, what is cofactor matrix, what is adjoint matrix, then how to find the inverse of the matrix using both the methods. Okay, thank you.